freshman Bear Parton kicks it back to the senior goalkeeper, Macy Enneking, to get things started here on a beautiful afternoon. A little warm down there on the field, but perfect afternoon for today's doubleheader. A big doubleheader here in Kalamazoo. As we mentioned, as we see the first action of Ava Wilberding, the Western Michigan keeper kind of fumbled with it, and Ava Beckett has to come in and clear things up.
You know, that's going to be an interesting focus for the game today. Lauren Boafo has been the starting goalkeeper from last season, was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. And now we have a new goalkeeper in this year, Wilbenberg. And yeah, they're going to have to figure out between the center backs and the back line, the goalkeeper, some communication and make sure that they're clear on some of those balls in behind. So keep your eye on that in terms of the goalkeeper coming out of her box to try to sweep up and clean up those balls. Could be interesting to watch today.
Wilberding, the reigning MAC Defensive Player of the Week, a 6-save shutout in the season opener against Northern Kentucky last Thursday here in Kalamazoo, as Jen Blitchok, one of the Bronco captains, whistled for an early foul. And so Iowa will have a free kick right inside the Western Michigan half. There's Enneking, graduate student, 5'9", out of Hilliard, Ohio. The first player in Iowa program history to be named a Mac Hermann Trophy watch list preseason. Sends it right into the box. It's kind of banging around in there, and there's a Hawkeye whistled for an infraction. And Western Michigan will get a defensive free kick. But so far, Iowa very much on the front foot. Not surprising. They scored 4 goals against Colorado College in their opening game back on Sunday. They had a couple in the first half last Thursday against Oregon State, and then the rest of that game was wiped out due to weather. So it ended up not being an official contest. So the 2 goals that freshman Barrett Parton scored in that game, not officially in the stats. So she sends it out wide.
Ooh.
Kenzie Rolling.
Speed down the line here.
On the left wing, good tackle
Great
in
tackle.
there.
Fantastic tackle there.
That was the freshman Kayla Newcomb out of right here in Kalamazoo, the right back that Coach Lewis Robinson is really excited that she's cracked the lineup as a true freshman.
Yeah, she's going to have great leadership right beside her, too, with Brielle Gomez. Brielle Gomez is a senior, and she's been around the block. She knows what she's doing back there, so she's going to be giving a lot of communication. Oh, look here.
And the loose ball in a box, and the Hawkeyes are on the board in the opening moments. It is Micah Ingalls, a senior from Shelby Township, the east side of the state, capitalizes on a little bit of miscommunication at the back for the Broncos. And the 24th ranked Hawkeyes are on the board in the 3rd minute.
Yeah, back post defending. Back post defending is a really misunderstood and not talked about piece of the game. You know, it's a very difficult position to be in at that back post, to not know what's behind your shoulder. The thing that all coaches will tell fullbacks is to just try to flick it away and get it wide. Don't direct it back into traffic. And the fullback there did her best, but then it fell to Abby Worthman, who was a winger coming back to support, and she just got caught on her blind shoulder, got stripped, and in on goal. So that's a big mistake there for the Broncos. That's going to be they're going to have to work their way back from that.
For Ingalls, it's her 2nd goal in as many games. She's got 2 goals and an assist already in a game plus a couple of minutes. So a dream start for the visiting Hawkeyes. The 2 coaches who know each other very well. We'll get to that in a little bit here. Knew there was going to be a tough battle either way, and for either team to get an early goal was going to be key. And here's the Hawkeyes who grab it in the 3rd minute.
Yeah, it may be a beautiful day for us spectators. And yeah, it's a beautiful day for those players out there too. But I will tell you, it is hot out there. And as the game goes on, you might see some lethargy, and they might see, again, a little bit sluggish from that heat. So for Iowa, to get that early goal is going to be huge, because that might just get more and more and more difficult to come back from later into the game as, you know, as things get hot out there.
Broncos trying to make their first foray forward. It gets cut out, though, by the Hawkeye defense. That will be out for a Western Michigan throw right near head coach Lewis Robinson in his 3rd year with the Broncos. Western Michigan trying to settle into this game, being behind by a goal early. We'll see how they respond. Not a position they were used to, especially the back half of last year. They went unbeaten in MAC regular season play before falling in the conference tournament. They've got a whistle behind the ball here. Advantage was played, and eventually kick is rewarded to Western Michigan. Broncos without one of their big-time leaders from the defense last year that had boatloads of clean sheets. Mira Pierre-Webster out with an injury. And so as we mentioned, kind of the combination of Ava Beckett and Brielle Gomez kind of tasked with trying to combine to make up for some of that organization and leadership that they're missing without Mira at this time.
Yeah, speaking with Coach Robinson before the game, he said that that's going to be an important piece for them, is trying to figure out that back line. You know, a defensive unit is probably one of the areas on the field where relationships and connections are most important. Your two center back pairings, if you play with two back there, it's really important that they have an understanding of each other as well as with the goalkeeper. So it actually doesn't surprise me that a mistake has come from a little bit of miscommunication, unfamiliarity with the players back there. So I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the game we see some rotations, some different players playing in that back line. But that's certainly going to be an area that the Broncos are going to have to figure out quickly.
Trying to get this one into the box. Launch forward.
Good ball.
By Pattison. Headed away by the Bronco defense. Not completely cleared. Another love toward the 6. Punched away by Wilberding. Still loose in there. And Broncos get it out. Maya Dean got it at least out to the center line. Trying to chip it back in was Fetty. Kind of plays a little bit of a holding midfield role for Coach Gianni and the Hawkeyes right in front of the center defense. We got a foul against Western Michigan there. Maddie Canada, the guilty party on that occasion.
Yeah, look for a really physical game today. I've watched some of Iowa's film, both from last season and from this season. They're a physical team, and Western is here at home. They're going to want to be physical as well. So look to see a lot of that, probably a lot of fouls, free kicks in this region like we're seeing. Keep an eye on that.
One lob toward the back post, and making a run was Maggie Johnston, the graduate student center back out of California. A little bit too long on that occasion. It'll be harmlessly out for a Western Michigan goal kick. It's a closer look at Ava Wilberding, junior, out of Grand Rapids. Started her college career at Northern Michigan. In the UP, made her first start as a Bronco in the opener against Northern Kentucky. Had a 6-save shutout. And right back between the sticks again today as the Broncos win a free kick in their defensive half. It'll be Baldridge to take. Gets it right back from Canada. Baldridge playing on the left side of defense. This one goes all the way through to Maya Dean. Dean tried to find the run of Worthman. Not quite on the same page there. Hawkeyes look to dig it out of their own end. Eric Parton, so prolific in her high school career scoring. Trying to win the ball back from Canada, but missed out. Canada good strong on the ball there.
Good
looking
ball.
for Bletchock back post. Got her head to it, couldn't quite settle it. She was a little bit offside, however. What a good idea there from Canada and the Broncos to, always a good idea to find Jen Bletchock.
Absolutely, she's dangerous. It's a lovely ball, chipped in behind off the center back shoulder there, so just difficult to get a hold of there for Jen, but yeah, nice idea.
9 goals last season. Couple already this season. Had 2 of Western Michigan's 3 in that opening win over Northern Kentucky last week. Abby Worthman had the other one for WMU as this one goes out into touch on the Iowa sideline. Newcomb will throw it back in for WMU.
You know, I think both teams, you're going to see a relatively similar playing style. You got dangerous forwards on both teams. Even for Iowa, even though you got, like you say, Barrett Parton, just a freshman, but she's strong, she's aggressive, she's fast. Both Iowa and Western are going to look to play direct and go back to front quickly and get it into their players who are going to hold the ball up and be dangerous. So kind of similar playing styles here between the two teams. So that'll be interesting to see how they contrast or look similar out there.
Just to finish that note on Parton, 151 goals and 79 assists in her high school career at Minnehaha Academy in St. Paul. I think that's good. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's pretty good.
I would say so, yeah.
2.4 goals per game. So almost a hat trick every time you go out there. That is impressive stuff.
And, you know, we talked about Berkeley Bingley as a player to watch before the game. And talking about the fact that she's a true freshman and the impact that she's having. But Bear Parton's in the same boat there. She's a true freshman. And in their, I believe it's true, in their season or their first exhibition game, I think it was against South Dakota, she scored a hat trick. Barrett Parton scored a hat trick. And then the next game against Oregon State, even though it got cut at halftime, she scored 2. So she's, as a true freshman, in the first 2 games, scored 5 goals. So there's a reason to keep your eye on her out there, same as her high school statistics. You know, she's got an eye for goal.
Anna King will take that kick from the halfway line and get it into the box. It'll go off of a Hawkeye and out of bounds. Another Western Michigan goal kick. 10 minutes in, Hawkeyes with the 3rd-minute goal to get them on the board. That was Ingles, her 2nd of the season. Western Michigan still looking to get on the front foot for the first time here this afternoon. First of a 3-game homestand for the Broncos to start off the season. They'll wrap it up on Sunday against Marquette. And Iowa, they will hit the road again on Sunday. They're traveling down to face number 12, Texas. So big road trips to start the season. They are in Missoula, Montana for the Rumble in the Rockies. Of course, we mentioned the game that against Oregon State that ended up being canceled at halftime. But then Colorado College, that was in Missoula as well as a part of that same tournament. Now here in Kalamazoo, then down to Austin on Sunday before they finally get to come home next week. Their home opener against Florida Gulf Coast. So a lot of miles getting traveled by Coach Dione's team here in the first couple weeks of the season.
Unbelievably difficult schedule for Iowa. And now with teams from the Pac-12 joining the Big Ten this season, a conference that was already one of the strongest in the nation just gets even stronger. And so their conference play games, every single game is going to be difficult. And then on top of that, their non-conference games, they're coming and playing away at a Western Michigan who had an excellent season last year. So, you know, a tough schedule can be good and bad. You know, if they get some results, they're going to get some great points in the RPI and be able to have a chance at an at-large bid for the tournament. But tough schedule, lots of travel, as you say, that's definitely going to wear on their bodies eventually.
Both these teams won championships last year. Western Michigan, MAC regular season champs. Iowa, Big Ten tournament champs as the 8th seed. Went all the way from the 8th seed to win that automatic berth to the NCAA tournament and won the first round in the NCAA tournament. They beat Bucknell and then lost to number 12, Georgia, 3-2. That was an exciting game. Hawkeyes falling a goal short to the Bulldogs, but both teams bringing a lot back from those championship teams, but also bringing in a lot of good talent to supplement what they already had. We talked about the Hawkeyes freshman for the Broncos side of things. Maya Dean, who's getting her first start for Western Michigan today. She was a star player at Bowling Green, captain last year, 8 career goals for the Falcons. They brought in Kelly Cunningham as well, one of the top players the last 4 years from Kent State. We've seen Kayla Newcomb, this new starter as a freshman at right back. So supplementing what were already some very talented rosters for both of these coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a big deal to the Western Michigan Broncos last season, the players that they had coming back. You know, these are players that had an extra year because of the COVID season. Players like Jen Blitchok, Abby Worthman, Jenna Blackburn. These are players that, you know, could have moved on and could have gone on to whatever else was next for them on their horizons. But they said, I want to come back. I want to have another season, want to have another year. And that's a big deal to the Broncos because those are leaders. They're excellent players. And so that's going to be great for the chemistry of the team. They're going to need those leaders this season.
We talked with Coach Robinson earlier in the week, kind of about have a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth of the way the season ended with the conference tournament loss here on their home field after winning the regular season in the MAC, going undefeated through the MAC regular season, but losing in the semis on your home field. But they've done a good job of learning from that and kind of using it as motivation to not let it end that way in November of 2024.
Both of these teams' coaches, when we're speaking them, these ladies and the staff, they have high goals for themselves. These are both teams that want to, as I think both coaches said, they want to make a splash on the national stage. So they got high goals for themselves. And even though they did a lot last season, they're going to look to not settle and do even more. But interestingly, talking with both coaches, they both had, a fantastic perspective, which is that all you can do is take it one game at a time. You can't at this point in the season be talking about conference tournaments and NCAA tournament. The only game is the next game, and that's all they're focused on. So it's a funny question to ask these coaches because they all give the right answer. So
that time Rio Gomez was fouled by Barrett Parton, so it'll be a Western Michigan free kick from their defensive zone. About a third of the way through this first half, the Hawkeyes with that goal, capitalizing on a Western Michigan defensive mistake to open the scoring in the 3rd minute, but it's been pretty back and forth ever since that goal. The Broncos have responded decently well, maintaining possession a little bit. They haven't really had a look at BC Enneking's goal yet, but they've had some threats where, it looks like the runs are there. It's just a matter of getting that link-up play.
Yeah, I think it's early in the season, and so you're going to see both teams, things aren't going to be as smooth as they would be midway through the season, so both teams are going to probably spend some time working their way into the game, getting comfortable, getting used to the conditions, and getting used to each other out there still. It's only the 2nd game of the regular season for them, so the playing style might not be totally smooth, but Iowa looks sharp here.
Ingles out wide, cuts inside, goes around Baldridge, centered into the box, found the head of Many Canada.
Lovely little toe poke there, get into the box.
And that one was charged down. Gomez got a piece of that, but it'll be out for the first Iowa corner of the afternoon.
For the Hawkeyes.
That Iowa front line is dangerous. Barrett Parton and Micah Ingles. Micah Ingles there had a great cutback, and it looked like it was going to be on her left foot, but she did a nice little toe button, lifted up into the box. They're dangerous up front, and I think they're giving the Broncos some trouble.
Ingles teeing it up from the corner. Sends it towards the near post, and it didn't quite make it to the near post. It'll be out for a goal kick for Western Michigan.
As my coach, Chad Wiseman, always used to say, if you're on the corner kicks, you got to beat that first man. You got to beat that first man at the front post, so.
Something that I will be looking to improve upon when they get more throughout the day. Jen Blitchok.
Here she goes.
Down the right wing. She's got Worthman in the center. She can get in across. Instead, she's won Western Michigan its first corner of the afternoon.
You're going to see lots of instances of that. Jen Blitchok can do it on her own. She's strong up there. She can hold the ball up. You see her just muscle off that Iowa defender. She's going to create opportunities on her own up front for the Broncos.
Worthman right at Enneking, who has to tip it over. And Worthman will have a chance to reload and do it again. That was a great ball in there from Abby Worthman, that in-swinger with the left foot.
You know what they call that, Rob? An Olympico. When you score from a corner kick, it's called Olympico. She's almost done it there.
This one a little bit more towards the back post, headed away by the Hawkeyes. Comes right out to Gomez. Couldn't quite settle it, though. The Hawkeyes are able to scramble it away from danger, at least for the time being. Aldridge backtracking, a back heel, looking for the run of Heidi Thomasma. Didn't quite get there in time.
Well dealt with there.
Beckett.
Backpedaling. Tough to deal with headers when you're backpedaling, but she's done really well there.
Good idea from Blackburn. Tried to one-touch it to Heidi Thomasma, who's making a run through the center of the midfield. Broncos regather with Canada down on the right side. Looking for Blitchok. Goes past her. And Blitchok is going to get called for a foul, I believe. Maybe a little push-off at the top of the box there. Going up against Millie Greer, one of the Big Ten players to watch during the lead up to the season. She was the number 39 ranked freshman by Top Drawer Soccer heading into the year. A sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I should say that freshman award was at the end of last season.
And just on that corner kick there from Abby Worthman, keep your eye on her with the set pieces. She's what you'd call a dead ball specialist. She's got great technique. She's left-footed. She can put great whip on the ball, but can also hit a nice low drive, a nice ping. She's going to create opportunities from her set pieces, whether that's from corner kicks or free kicks. So keep an eye on her for that.
Iowa playing around the back of their defense right now. A slow build-up. We haven't seen this a whole lot from them yet. They've been pretty direct in the opening stages of the game. They pick up the loose ball in the center of the midfield, looking for the run of Parton down the left channel. She's got one to aim for in the box,
Good
but strong
tackle.
challenge there. That was Gomez. It will be another corner kick, though, for the Hawkeyes.
Corner kick for the Hawkeyes.
Fantastic tackle there by Brio Gomez.
Former captain at UIC before transferring here to Kalamazoo, her second season as a Bronco.
Let's see how the Broncos deal with this corner here.
20 minutes gone here in the first half. 1-0 Iowa. Here comes the corner in towards that near post again and caught by Wilberding.
That's going to be important for Wilberding just to build her confidence. You know, she had a great game in the season opener, and that's going to be huge for her confidence. But here today, too, against a very strong Iowa team, she's going to want to get her hands on those crosses, get comfortable, build confidence, build her way into the game.
Anna King will launch it forward for the Hawkeyes. Right into the path of Maddie Canada for Western Michigan. Trying to get it to Dean. It was going to be last touched by Western Michigan. Hawkeye throw. In the early going, shots are 3-1 in favor of Iowa.
Oh,
From the Broncos.
wow.
Blackburn. Or excuse me, that was Dean who got knocked down.
Good.
Newcomb chips it towards the top of the box, volleyed away by the center of defense for Iowa. And now Hawkeyes look to counter. Ingles, the goal scorer, goes
Ooh.
around Baldridge.
Lil Meg.
Now a chance to run. Finds the run of Parton on the right side. Parton trying to set something up, cutting inside. Left
Oh.
footer is just a little over. A nice little in cut there from Barrett Parton. You could see why she scored as many goals as she has at the high school level and early in her exhibition career. She just needed that to stay down a little bit. Didn't quite calm down for her, but she created a yard of space, and that is all she needs.
I believe that was Micah Ingles, too, in the buildup around the halfway line. Cheeky little nutmeg. Then she's got the whole field to herself. She runs, plays a nice ball into Barrett Parton. Yeah, those two look dangerous. Oh,
Ball aimed at
Might be in
Blitchok,
here.
just strayed a little bit, just ahead of that shoulder of the last defender, Jen Blitchok. But the Broncos are definitely, the warning signs are there for Blitchok to make some runs in behind. Just got to get that timing a little right.
I think it's fair to say that Iowa has a pretty strong grip on the game at this point, but Western definitely look dangerous. You know, they look like they can create opportunities still and be dangerous on the counter. So Iowa's going to have to stay sharp.
Turnover in the midfield. Heidi Thomasma is knocked down. At least the Western Michigan supporters thought so. They're calling for a foul. And Western Michigan gets the ball right back quickly.
Wow.
Thomasma goes down again, to the dismay of the home fans.
Ref
Yeah,
letting the
nothing
game
given.
go.
Sophia Bush with it for Iowa goes back to the rock-solid defense pair of Johnston and Greer. Almost sounds like a law firm back there. Johnston and Greer. Hawkeyes at defending instead of attorneys at law.
You know, I think it's about this time in the game. You know, we're almost 25 minutes in here. I would expect the game to really kind of slow down, settle in here. I think the heat's going to start building up. So I think it's smart for Iowa now to look to try to get a hold of the ball, maybe play it around the back a little bit more, slow things down, control the tempo of the game.
Going to get our first substitution
Checking
of
into
the
game for
afternoon.
the Broncos, number 12, Madison Salzenstein.
It is a sub for the Broncos. Madison Salzenstein, a senior out of Beverly Hills, Michigan. Her 27th appearance as a Bronco this afternoon. She checks in on the left-hand side of the defense for Abby Baldridge. Blitchok working hard on
Wow.
the right side, trying to get in across. Dean now in support. It's toward Worthman. Worthman trying to play it back to
Oh,
someone
watch
that
out.
wasn't there. Now the Hawkeyes looking to counter. Ingles. And miscommunication with Barrett Parton. And was read perfectly by the transfer from Providence, Ava Beckett. Down goes Abby Worthman under the challenge of Eva Patterson, the sophomore from Chicago. Western Michigan will have free kick.
Taking it quickly.
Here's Worthman. Worthman looking to get into left
Great
foot across over the
service.
center, and just a little bit off the mark for Thomas. But Dean got to it. Didn't get much on the shot, though. Came out to Newcomb. A little bit of a heavy touch. Hawkeyes get it away. Parton battling with Beckett. We expect that to be a physical battle all afternoon, and Beckett whistled for the foul on that occasion.
Great play there by Abby Worthman down the left wing. Just a little shift, get it on her strong foot. Excellent service. Broncos got to show that they're hungry there. They got to attack the ball, got to get after those crosses. There might not be many of them. They got to be hungry to get on the end of those.
A little bit past the halfway mark of this first half. If you joined us late, Iowa scored in the 3rd minute, and it was Ingles who's on the ball again. Ingles cuts inside. Ingles with a little shot that's low and blocked, and it's still bouncing around in the Western Michigan box, and the grateful Ava Wilberding eventually pounces on it. That could have been dangerous for the Broncos as he was kind of pinballing around in the 6th there. They are let off the hook.
Micah Ingles showing some class there and patience. Great little fake shot. Interestingly, again there though, she looked to do a little toe bunt, looked to get a quick shot away.
Hawkeye ending up on the ground there was Eliotto. We have a Western Michigan player in the book. It's Heidi Thomasma, who is the guilty party here. First player from either side to go in the book. Just south of 20 minutes left until halftime. A strong challenge. Yeah. A little late there. Thomasma. Enneking will come all the way up to take this one and try to launch it towards the box. Western Michigan, a pretty high line there. And right out to the edge of the 18.
I think right where they should be. It's good to hold a high line. Don't want to drop too early though.
Enneking launches it right towards the penalty spot. Flicked away by the Western Michigan defense. Thomasma kind of fanned on the clearance. Comes out to Ingles, who volleys one that ends up well wide. That was going to be a goal kick. But for a second, it might have been deflected. It's just a goal kick, and we'll get some subs coming on from both sides.
Iowa, number 8, Madison Wilson.
There's been several of those midway free kicks by Iowa at this point. Opportunities for them to lob it into the box, cause some havoc. It's important for Western to, they've probably been instructed to start at that 18-yard line and hold as long as they can until the ball's been kicked and then drop. But if they're dropping too early, they're giving Iowa too much space to come closer and closer towards the goalkeeper. So they got to be disciplined, hold their line on the 18.
For the Broncos, Callie Cunningham, the grad transfer from Kent State, just checked in a couple moments ago. For Iowa, Maya Hansen, a grad transfer from South Dakota State, along with grad transfer from Dayton, Madison Wilson, on the field for the first time this afternoon. Hawkeyes on the front foot again. Here comes a cross that is dealt with by Canada, and then Thomasma got it clear. Good job by Cunningham tracking back there, just on the field. Finds the run of Worthman. Worthman, Cunningham, and Blitchock in the attack for the Broncos, and that was just a little bit too far ahead of Jen Blitchock from Abby Worthman. Right idea, just the execution wasn't quite there on that particular occasion.
Yeah. You know, there's an interesting contrast there. Western, when they're getting their opportunity to attack there, they've got two up there. It was Jen and Abby Wortham, that was it. The last attack there by Iowa, they had 5 players in the box when that ball was out wide. Iowa's coach told us the other day that their goal this season is to try to get more players into the box when they're attacking. And you see that there from Iowa. 5, 6 players in the box getting ready to be on the end of some service. That's what you want to see. That's what's going to create problems.
That one was aimed at Wilson. Clash of heads there with Riel Gomez. And the official holding up things. Got a throw in right in front of the Western Michigan bench for the Broncos. Bring it over to this near side. Ingles, the scorer of that goal in the 3rd minute, has had a couple other chances to add to her tally as well. Had a shot that was blocked a couple moments ago.
Here we see Iowa trying to play the ball around the back a little bit. They're being patient, playing into the midfield here. Oh my goodness.
Good job by Thomasma backing up Sulzenstein there, who Ingles went around. Good support there from the midfield.
You see Iowa settling down, being a little less direct, taking their time, controlling the ball, trying to at least.
Blitchok.
Oh, she's going
She's
for it.
gonna
Oh
rifle
my
it
goodness.
from long range, and she
what a
scores!
goal!
What a effort from Jen Blitchok. You don't need to give her much of a sight of goal. She's going to take it. And already her third of the season levels us up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable individual effort there by Jen Blitchok. She does a great job holding up the ball, coming inside. She has a quick look and sees Enneking off her line. Pinpoint accuracy, must be 45 yards away. She's lobbed her. Brilliant goal by Jen Blitchok there. Not many opportunities for the Broncos, but they've made the most of
21, Heidi Thomasma.
a nothing opportunity. Brilliant goal by Jen Blitchok.
She saw that Macy Enneking was off her line and decided to
Checking into the game
go
for
for it
Iowa,
and
number 18,
executed to
Brooklyn Bigley.
perfection.
What a
Third of
goal.
the season. That one is going to make the highlight reel.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see it.
So we're all even with about a quarter of an hour to go here in the first half.
Broncos would be thrilled to go into halftime level. You know, Iowa been in control of this game for the most part, so to go into this game level at 1-1.
Berkeley Bingley, a freshman from Utah, coming on this right-hand side, just substituted in for Iowa after that WMU goal. She's taken the place of Ingles on that right side for the time being.
Yeah. Interesting taking off Ingles. I mean, she was so dangerous out there on the right, but they've also, looks like they also took off Barrett Parton as well. So 2 dangerous forwards for Iowa, both, maybe it's a brig, bit of the heat.
Dean finds Blitchok. Hawkeyes coming in. We're certainly aware that she's the top Bronco goal scorer. Player, his sister, Sydney, played at Iowa 2016 to 2019, Jen Blitchok's sister. So certainly a player that we'll be familiar with. Iowa will have an opportunity again just inside the Western Michigan half to launch one towards Ava Wilberding's box. There's Enneking to take all the way up from the goalkeeping position. Launches it forward towards the box. Wilberding coming out. Solid
Good
two-handed punch.
Solid punch. That's what you want. That's going to build your confidence there. Coming out of your box, getting your fists on it. Your defenders will love that. Here's another chance.
Another one launched in towards Wilberding. She goes down, no call, and then eventually there will be a call. As Wilberding is fouled there. A little bit of a delayed whistle from
Let's take a look at this replay.
the official here as Wilberding kind of went over the top of the Hawkeye attacker there.
She hesitated for a split second. I think she got a little bit lucky there. She hesitated for a quick second, but she was still able to be aggressive, get something on it, but I think she got lucky there with a foul.
Hawkeyes were looking to counter off winning that off of the long boot from Wilberding, but Broncos were able to deal with it all the way back to Enneking. So 1 each now with 15 minutes to go here in the first half. Ingles and Blitchok, the goal scorers. Salzenstein flips it forward for Western Michigan. Madison will go all the way back to goalkeeper Enneking. 13 shutouts for Iowa last year. Enneking had a hand, at least a hand in all of them. 12 for her by herself, and then she split another one with a teammate. It was 5th most in the nation last year, but no clean sheet for Iowa today. Thanks to Jen Blitchok's goal from way out, shall we say. Unofficially 45 yards, is that what you're calling it?
I think it's got to be 40 or 45, yeah. It's from deep, that's all I know.
That'll work.
NBA logo, right?
Maybe they need to start putting logos on the soccer fields to give you a better, reference points for long-range efforts like that.
You think they should put 10-yard lines out in the field? Now let's keep the beautiful game the beautiful game.
Nice and simple out there. Worthman trying to nick the ball away from the Iowa defense, but Hawkeyes maintain possession. Addison, plenty of room to run forward. Tries to find Bingley. Good slide
tackle.
in there by Salzenstein. Out into touch for an Iowa throw. We have a Broncos sub
Checking into the game
coming in.
for the Hawkeyes.
When you got a dangerous forward like Berkeley Bingley or Micah Ingles out on the wing, when you're a fullback, you want to be proactive. If you can stop the ball from getting to the winger's feet in the first place, do it. Then you don't have to risk the chance of them taking him on one-on-one. So the fullback for Western Michigan there did really well, reading the ball, sliding, cutting it out. Got to be proactive on these strong wingers.
Abby Skiff, a sophomore from Rochester, coming into the midfield for the Hawkeyes, while the Broncos bring senior Emily Paget onto the field. She was the one who Maya Dean replaced in the starting lineup at the start of the game. As Bingley goes for goal, got it deflected, and Wilberding will gratefully haul in that deflected attempt from the freshman. Bingley, who we highlighted in the opener, comes from a very athletic family. Had a grandfather who played basketball at Utah, a couple of uncles who played sports at Utah Tech. One played football, another baseball, and has a cousin who played baseball at Arizona State. So
My goodness.
continuing that athletic lineage. Here's Blitchok.
Great
Slides
ball.
it over
Great
to the
ball.
top of the box. A little bit of a heavy touch from Thomas Mugg. Gets it under control.
Well, she's done well,
Gets
though.
it, and a back heel from Emily Paget. She just didn't get enough on it. A great, tricky little maneuver there by Thomas Mugg Paget. And if Paget gets a little more on that thing, Broncos probably have the lead right now.
Thomas Mudd did really well. It's on her weak foot there to dig that out and cut it back across goal. I think maybe Paget would have been better off maybe rolling with the ball and trying to finish, but what a fantastic ball by Jen Blitchok there. A reverse pass. A brilliant ball.
Certainly the best link-up play we've seen so far from the Broncos. Of course, as we get the offside flag up against Iowa here, scoring their goal on a magnificent individual long-range strike from Blitchok. But Broncos are starting to connect a few more passes in the attacking third as well now.
I think it's fair to say that that goal might have given them a real boost. Real boost of confidence back in the game, level. Yeah, I think we're seeing that in their play, especially in the final third and even in the back line. They're looking a little more secure. Keepers looking more assured coming for crosses. So Broncos are building into this game slowly but surely.
We don't have that little bit of a slip by Worthman at the back post leading to that opening goal. The Broncos could very well be ahead in this game. So
Yeah.
we got a foul here in the midfield as hitting the deck was Madison Wilson out of London, Ontario, Canada. And again, Enneking will come to take it. I think Enneking is probably the furthest far forward goalie I've ever seen in terms of taking free kicks. Outside of maybe at the very end of a game, they're trying to tie it up or win it late.
Allison Becker against West Brom.
That's
94th
true.
minute
There's
winner.
a loose ball, and that was a little bit fortunate for the Broncos there, because that was a free shot in the box that just got deflected. Maybe not a full swing at it there for the Hawkeyes, but Wilberding grateful to collect that when they had the sting taken out of it.
Must be at least Iowa's 5th free kick, at least 5 from halfway where they're dumping it into the box like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And where it looks like we might have our second booking of the afternoon here.
I'll be really surprised if the ref doesn't do more about this.
Callie Cunningham getting mixed up there with Maya Schuler for Iowa.
Iowa player probably had some choice words.
Certainly did not seem like they were exchanging addresses for Christmas cards in a couple of months.
They'll shake hands afterwards, though. Be all right.
So Western Michigan will get a chance to launch one towards the Iowa box here. Gomez will send it forward. Enneking
ball.
comes out,
Oh, she dropped
bobbles it. Blitchok trying to find Cunningham. Hawkeyes got it away. Dean tries to chip it back towards Blitchok. Headed again, clear by the Hawkeyes. I think it might have raised off the hand of Hansen. Play on. Wilson charges into the Western Michigan half. Bingley had to wait for that one to catch up with her. Now she'll try and
Good
backtrack
defending.
under
Good
the
defending.
pressure by Selzenstein there. She's done well since coming on for Abby Baldridge. The flag is again up against the Hawkeyes on this near side for offside.
Madison Salzenstein has made a fantastic impact since coming on at left back. She's been proactive, pressing. When you're a defender and you follow your forward into midfield, coaches would tell you to stay with them until the ball leaves them. She's followed her at least 40 yards there and then has gotten her back line up to be able to get an offside. She's made an excellent impact since coming on at left back.
Knocked out of bounds off of the Broncos there. Approaching the last 6.5 minutes of the opening half here in Kalamazoo. A beautiful day for a doubleheader. We hope you stay tuned for the men's game between the 12th ranked Broncos and the 14th ranked Vermont Catamounts. 5:30 scheduled kickoff for that one. We've got a great first half here. Early goal by Iowa. Western Michigan responding a short while ago. A long-range effort from their leading scorer, Jen Blitchop. That's how we've gotten to 1-1 here in the latter stages of this opening 45. Iowa looking to get a cross in with the left foot towards the back post. It sails over everybody. Bingley trying to keep it in play and loses out.
Well done.
Emily Paget. Paget looking for some support. Finds it in Salzenstein, who couldn't get the return ball. Be out for an Iowa throw.
Good work ethic there by Paget.
Skiff coming forward again. Hanson looking to cut inside. Out wide. Bingley on the right wing. Gets a
Good
cross
service.
in towards the back post. Headed away by Western Michigan. Falls to Bush. Gets it right back. Bush lines up the shot, and she will send it over for a goal kick. Broncos
Taking
making
to the
another
game for
sub
your
here.
Broncos, number 6, Brooke Bailey.
Brooke Bailey onto the field. Senior from Carmel, Indiana. Had an assist in Western Michigan's season opening victory over Northern Kentucky a week ago right here at the WMU Soccer Complex. It was her first career assist for Bailey last week. On a great cross to Jen Bletchok. Who else? Foul called against Iowa. Western Michigan will have a chance to settle down and aim something forward. Gomez to take. She's been active here in the first half.
Good
Towards
ball.
the edge of the box there. Iowa heads get to it. Not fully cleared.
Oh,
And it
she might
falls
be
to
in.
Callie Cunningham. Cunningham had
Oh.
it blocked. But blocked there by Riley Fetty. A player that Coach Gianni said, when she's on the field, we just don't give up goals. And for the most part last year, that was very true.
It's a pretty good compliment.
Throw in for Western Michigan deep in Iowa territory. The Hawkeyes are able to take it
Good
away.
play there.
Step there from Gomez.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Wins a throw for the Broncos. Another one in the attacking half.
Good active play there by Brielle Gomez, going with her striker, putting pressure on, winning possession back, and winning a throw-in.
Now a corner off of that. Now for the
Corner kick
Broncos.
for the Broncos.
That'll be Western Michigan's third. Iowa so far with 2 corner kicks. Maya Dean parked right next to Anna King there. A couple yards in front of the goal line. Corner kick comes in towards the back post, and Brooke Bailey got a little bit of a push on her defender there. Bingley goes to the ground, and foul called against the Broncos senior. Anna King taking a free kick in a more conventional spot for a goalkeeper here, inside her own box. Obviously, it's worked out, though. They've gotten some good service from their goalkeeper on those attacking half free kicks.
If you trust your goalkeeper, if you know they've got good service, if they can get the distance on it, there's absolutely no harm in having your keeper put the ball into the box like that. They got lots of time to make it back to their goal. it takes something magical to score from distance, as we've seen there from Jen Blitchok. So, yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Iowa making a sub here in the last couple of minutes.
Checking into the game for Iowa, number 22, Kira Billis.
It's fair to say, too, that Jen Blitchok's goal did not come from Enneking taking a free kick and being too high off the line. I mean, it was a regular passage of play. She was just in an advanced position. So didn't have anything to do with those kind of higher but free kicks. It's just Blitchok spotted her off her line.
Talked a little bit earlier about Berkeley Bingley being from an athletic family. We have a lot of these Iowa players who have parents or other family members who played sports at the collegiate level. And Kira Billis, a freshman from Oxford, Michigan, who just came on. His father, Derek, played hockey at the University of Michigan. A team that Western Michigan will play in hockey in a home-and-home around Thanksgiving. That'll be an exciting series, one in Ann Arbor and one here in Kalamazoo. A great rivalry. Just over a minute to play here in the first half. Hansen on the ball for Iowa. Stays strong on it, trying to get it out wide. A second attempt to get it out wide to Wilson.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
Salzenstein couldn't clear it. Beckett trying to help out her teammate. Still on the ball was Wilson, and she passed it to an open space. She did all that work and just wasn't able to find a teammate out of that. The final few seconds, Iowa still trying to launch forward to try to regain that lead that they had for a good majority of this first half. Good idea by Salzenstein just to kill a few more seconds and kick it out of bounds.
Do not want to concede here. Bad time to concede. Broncos got to hang on. And if you're Iowa, want to get that ball in the box, see if you can nick something.
Launch toward the box. Bounces to Hansen, got her head to it. Broncos are able to get it clear. Padgett, now she will launch it forward. Maybe Blitchok in the final seconds. Does she have another long-range effort in her?
9.
Okay, defense beat her to it.
7. 6.
Skiff.
5. 4. 3.
And this
2,
first half is going to come to a close. An exciting first 45 here in Kalamazoo. We had the early goal by Micah Ingles in just the 3rd minute that got the visiting 24th ranked Hawkeyes on the board. But just before the half-hour mark, Jen Blitchok, from distance, her 3rd of the season, got the equalizer for the homestanding Broncos. So after 45 minutes of play here in Kalamazoo, it's Iowa 1 and Western Michigan.
That first half, so I think they're going to come out here with the same lineup, the same players, and look to go out and do it again. With Iowa, I'd be interested to see if, and it looks like they are, Barrett Parton looks like she's come back in, and Micah Ingles. They had a significant impact in that first half. They came out in the latter half. They're back in. Look for them to be dangerous in the second half.
Jen Blitchok gets it underway for Western Michigan. The second 45, I hope it is as entertaining as the first 45 was, one that brought us one goal on each side. Ingles in the 3rd minute for the Hawkeyes, and Blitchok in the 30th for Western Michigan.
Strong
Hawkeyes
play again there from Ava Beckett at the halfway.
coming forward. Trying to get a cross in that might have gone out of play, and it did just before Kenzie Rowling could get that cross in. Rowling, a senior out of Waverly, Iowa, started all 22 matches for the Hawkeyes last season, scored 3 goals and had 5 assists. Did not play in the opener against Colorado College, but back in the starting lineup here today on that left-hand side. And if she had been able to keep that one in play, she had some options in the center of the field. As just like in the first half, the Hawkeyes trying to get out on the front foot in the opening stages of here, half number 2.
Number 4, Kayla Newcomb out there on right back for Western Michigan. She's got a tough job. Both fullbacks for Western Michigan got a tough job out there in handling the Iowa wingers. So they're going to have to hang in there, slow down, get, as I said in the first half, if they can try to pick those passes off before they get to the wingers, then they don't have to deal with them one-on-one. So they're going to need to be proactive and stay sharp because Iowa have looked very dangerous out on the wings in that first half.
And There is Western Michigan's left back, Madison Sullivan, seen that one going off of her head and out of play. She came in at left back for Abby Baldridge roughly halfway through that first half and really solidified things, helped tighten things up at the back end for the Broncos. Had some good tackles, some vital interceptions back there, and really the senior has played well. Bouncing around in the midfield, team's kind of volleying it back and forth a little bit. That'll be an Iowa throw in out near the center line. Told to back up, back towards the Western Michigan coaching staff, seated right there behind her. Lewis Robinson assisted by Nate Van Ryn and Paige Eli. The staff intact from last season. Not always something you see from the assistant coaching standpoint. Some of these schools that have success, a lot of times they'll have their assistant coaches pilfered to other schools. This one comes in toward the top of the box. A good play there by Dean, backtracking, intercept, but Broncos are unable to maintain possession. Beckett clears that one away.
You know what, Rob? I'm noticing, I could be wrong here, but it looks like there might be a bit of a tactical change here for Iowa. Micah Ingles, who in the first half was playing as a right winger, it looks like she's playing right wing right now, but at the back for Iowa, I'm really only seeing 3 defenders. So I think they might have moved to a back 3, and they're playing with 2 wing backs, as they call them. So the outside midfielders, which in this case would be Micah Ingles and number 28, Kenzie Rowling. So I think Iowa's playing with a back 3, 2 wing backs. Looks like maybe 2 or 3 central midfielders and either 2 or 3 forwards, but that was slightly different from what we saw in the first half with Iowa, where I think they were playing with a traditional back 4. So that might be a slight tactical change here by Iowa at the halftime break.
It looks like maybe instead of having 1 holding midfielder, maybe they have 2, with Johnston moving a little bit further forward from center back into a more of a defensive, kind of a traditional number 6 role. Whereas Fetty, the number 6 for Iowa, centrally as well, but maybe a little bit more on the right-hand side rather than true center. See how that adjustment changes things for the Hawkeyes as Harden makes a good move in the midfield, looking for the run of Rolling. Newcomb backtracking for the Broncos is able to get there first and clear the danger, at least for the time being. But it comes right to the feet of Ingles.
Strong defending there from the Broncos, both from Ava and Brielle. They're good center back play.
Rolling will now let go a shot, and that one she could not quite keep it down. The Broncos, a couple of these opportunities here in the opening minutes, they're getting the ball only half cleared. And on that particular occasion, it led to an Iowa chance. Now, it didn't lead to anything more than a shot that went over the bar, but I get a little bit more oomph, I would think, on those clearances, especially from the viewpoint of a former center back yourself.
Big no-no. Don't want a bad clearance. Got to get it rose end. Better to be off the field than at the top of your box. Got to get it out of there. So, yeah, they got to figure that out.
Harden picks this one up on the left-hand side. Charging toward the
Great
box, left-footed
ball.
cross,
Wow.
and just a little bit too far for Ellie Otto. Well, that one was on a plate for Otto. If it just wasn't too far in front of her,
Corner kick for the
just
Hawkeyes.
maybe a yard too far. Salzenstein clears the danger before any Hawkeye could nick in at the back post there.
You know, I talked about in the first half, back post defending, very difficult. But Salzenstein, again, with her back to what's behind her, she doesn't really know what's behind her. She puts out for a corner. That's a smart play, you know, but that's a difficult position to be in to defend.
Parton launches it in just over the head of Johnston. Salzenstein again on the case for the Broncos, got it clear. She's had one heck of a game.
Yeah, defensively, she's looked really solid. I think she's given the Broncos what they really needed in that first half.
And that, again, speaks to, as Coach Robinson talked about, the added depth that this team really has this year now with all the experience of last year plus the supplemental players they've added in. As Wilberding will collect that cross. That was a little bit too close for the Hawkeyes' liking to the WMU keeper.
Also touches, though, on what Coach Robinson was talking about, that you're going to see rotation. You're going to see some different ladies playing some different spots. I think Coach Robinson is evaluating it as he goes. He's going to see what's working well And you might see him start to stick with a change that is made today could stick for the rest of the season if he likes what he's seeing. So I think Coach Robinson is evaluating it as it goes.
And that oftentimes is what non-conference play is for across a lot of sports, especially in a sport like women's soccer, where they really don't have a huge length of a training camp preseason before they actually start playing regular season games. It's only a couple of weeks. Whereas, a sport like football, they've got about a month worth of training camp. Basketball, they have, maybe 6 weeks or so preseason, plus a lot of them are working out in the summer. So soccer, they don't really have the same amount of time together. They'll have their spring season, but really leading up to the season, they don't have a whole lot. So the non-conference play often is still trying to figure out a lot of, rotation patterns and formations and finding everyone's specific role on the team.
For sure. It's really like nothing else, in terms of the other sports in college, having such a short preseason. And then in terms of other professional sport, to have freshmen, to have 18-year-old, kids coming into the college system, trying to learn the culture of a team. There's a lot of things that you got to learn and figure out in those initial period with the team. So a lot of change, a lot of learning, a lot going on. So we're seeing it firsthand.
Which makes it all the more impressive that this one shot comes in just wide. Boy, that came seemingly out of nothing. It just kind of a loose ball that Riley Fetty got on the end of and just couldn't keep it on frame. But it makes it, just to finish the point there, makes it all the more impressive how many freshmen have been contributing to both of these teams so early in the season.
Yeah, it's really impressive. No easy task whatsoever to come into college, to deal with everything else that you got going on top of your sports, and then also adapt to the team and make an impact with people who are at a really high level, who are often older than you. It's no easy feat.
Emily Paget and Maya Dean combined to win the ball back for the Broncos. Blitchak couldn't quite settle that one down. Gomez heads it forward in the direction of Blitchak, trying to hold up play there. Does a good job. Dean will get it right back. Newcomb looking to switch the play, and instead we'll find the waiting arms of Macy Enneking.
Bit of a wasted ball there. She had time to take a touch and find a player, but she's just kind of looking at lob it in behind, kind of hopefully. She's got to take her time, put her foot on the ball, connect a pass.
Maya Schuler, another one of those native Michiganders, hails from Northville on the east side of the state, suburb of Detroit. Now cutting inside is Rolling. Kinsey Rolling.
Good step again.
Job there. That was Ava Beck at that time out of the back line for the Broncos as Thomasma goes down. I think Thomasma might lead the Broncos in times hit the ground today. This time winning a foul.
Yeah, she's taking some hits today out there.
Might need to use a little bit of extra detergent on some grass stains on Heidi Thomasma's jersey tonight. The team personnel gets to do the team laundry tonight. They'll have to work a little extra hard on that white number 21. Launch toward the Iowa box, a back header that Enneking had to scramble out for. It was off of a Hawkeye defender. Popped right in the air. That could have been anybody's, and it almost ended up on the foot of a Bronco there. I think that was Worthman who was crashing in on that far side.
But it's another benefit of having Jen Blitchak out there. She's a target. Whether she's going to hold it up or she's going to get a flick on like she did there, she's winning most balls that are coming up to her. And it's a dangerous play when they get the ball up to her.
Eliotto just strayed a little bit there. The senior out of Granville, another those Michiganders. In fact, her and Jen Blitchak went to the same high school in Granville. Otto started her career at Mississippi State. 15 games as a freshman for the Bulldogs in 2021. And has had a great career with the Hawkeyes. 5 goals and 20 starts last year. 3 goals in 17 games the year before. And already with an assist to her name in the season opener for Iowa. Just over 10 minutes gone here in the second half, as we were at halftime. Still 1-1. Broncos looking to send one into the box. Cleared away there by Greer. A couple players end up on the ground.
Guess who that was?
Would that be Heidi Thomasma again?
Yep.
Western Michigan throw. We have a Bronco substitute that'll check in momentarily. Thought we might get it before the throw in, not quite yet. Now we will probably get it the next time the Broncos have a throw in. This one was in favor of Iowa. Don't forget, more college soccer coming up your way on ESPN Plus from
Oh,
W
good ball.
Soccer Complex
Great
at
ball.
5:30. As
Oh,
just getting enough of a nick on that
wow.
ball to keep it away from rolling was Newcomb.
There's a replay here. Let's see if she gets a touch on it. Ooh, I don't know. She might have gotten lucky there.
And we're going to have a card here for Western Michigan as Eliotto ended up on the ground here. Maddie Canada looked like she was the one who shown the yellow.
Putting their life out there. They're saving last-ditch efforts. Broncos need to figure out how to get a hold of the game a little bit more because Iowa just keep coming and they look dangerous every single time.
Emily Paget providing the release valve option there for the Broncos. At least take the pressure off for a few moments in time. They try to catch their breath a little bit defensively. That back four has been heavily worked, especially in, I would say, the last 10, 15 minutes or so. Really, Iowa's had the upper hand for the most part in the second half.
Number 9, Maya Hansen.
As Hansen comes back in, a graduate student from Savage, Minnesota. Prolific scorer at South Dakota State in her time there. School records for goals, game-winning goals, and points.
Oh.
And the 2022 Offensive Player of the Year in the Summit League and a 3-time first-team all-conference performer for the Jackrabbits. Otto is back in. So she only got maybe not even a 5-minute breather.
Number 23, Ellie Otto. Number 26, Shea Doherty.
Shea Doherty, a
Also
junior from
number
Wheaton,
34,
Illinois, is a
Abby
transfer
Skiff.
from Belmont into the lineup. And Skiff comes back in as well for the Hawkeyes as this one comes near Collard. Here's a left-footed strike off the crossbar. That was off the foot of Otto, who was just right back onto the field and almost put her team back in front. Danger might not be over yet. Baldridge got her head to it. Peterson swings and misses at a potential clearance. Bush goes down in the area. That was close. The referee waiting for her to get up. But there was another nervy moment for the Broncos there as the woodwork might still be rattling from that strike.
Number 17, Lainey Peterson, has been real aggressive back there. She's been good, but she's got to be careful. There's been 2 instances here where I think the referees probably had a look at some of that and maybe thought could be reason for a penalty. So she's got to be careful back there. Great skill from Blitchok.
Blitchok lays it out wide. Emily Paget. Paget charging forward on the left side. Blackburn is available in the box. Blitchok as well. Paget trying to create some space for a cross. Goes back to Baldridge. Baldridge will try to send it. Oh,
Oh, bad giveaway.
got just enough on it to get it to Peterson, who really just had enough time to get rid of it and keep it from becoming a counter-attacking opportunity for Iowa. So now Iowa will try to build it up on this left-hand side, but its pass is a little bit too strong for Callie Collard.
Pitch is drying out here a little bit. They got to put some more pace on their passes. Got to hit things firmly, confidently, make sure it gets to the intended target.
Take another look at that strike moments ago off the bar from Otto. Just fractions away from putting the Hawkeyes back in front with a little bit less
Checking
than
into
20
the game
minutes to
for
go.
your Broncos, number 29, Jaden Peck.
Jaden Peck coming up front for Western Michigan. We give Blitchok a little breather for the stretch run. Peck, senior from Sycamore, Illinois. Games played last year, 15 the year before. 3 goals in 2022 for Western Michigan, Jaden Peck. Greer switches the field for Iowa. Addison launching one forward in the direction of Hansen. Beckett goes up for the challenge. Paget on that far side. Baldridge looking for the run of Maya Dean a little bit too far. It'll be out for a goal kick for Iowa. Quarter of an hour to go. The Hawkeyes have had the better of it here in the second half, including that most recent chance that hit the crossbar off the foot of Eliotto. But the Broncos have shown enough that they could certainly, if the Hawkeyes leave the door open, nick this one and score the upset.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this last 14 minutes or so plays out, because neither team is going to want to concede. So they might be, not too willing to take many risks. So it'll be interesting to see if one of the two teams out here really decides to go for it and take some risks and get some players further up the field, especially for the Broncos. Blitchok has been isolated up there front for most of the second half. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to try to take a risk and get more players up forward, or if they're going to really try to solidify and just make sure they don't concede.
Otto tries to get it out wide for a little give and go, and the return feed was interrupted, but will be an Iowa throw-in on that far side for Shea Doherty. Her second season at Iowa after beginning her collegiate career at Belmont.
Great ball, unbelievable ball, breaking the lines there from the center back.
Staying on the ball there and letting go a left-footed strike.
Save.
Was Hansen. And Wilberding is able to make the save, and it'll be a corner for the Hawkeyes. So you can see why Hansen was so successful as she was at South Dakota State. Strong on the ball, wearing a good hit.
Strong hands, great save by Wilberding there too, but yeah, great action by the Iowa attacker.
Looks like Doherty. Oh, it's going to be Bush instead to take it for Iowa. Their fifth corner of the day. Here it comes. Right towards the penalty spot. Over the heads. It comes down to the feet of Johnson. Got deflected on its way in. Greer
Offside.
was interfering with Wilberding and was in an offside position doing so. And so the flag is raised against the Iowa defender. A few substitutes at the halfway line, ready to check back in for the Hawkeyes at the next opportunity. Looks like Iowa might make their substitutions now that they have the throw in on the attacking side. Barrett Parton
Checking into the game
is one of
for
those
number
Hawkeyes
2,
set to
Barrett
return.
Parton. Also checking in,
Riley Fetty
number
back
6,
in, a graduate
Riley
student out of
Fetty.
Clarkston, Michigan.
And also checking
Fetty
in, number 14,
playing her
Micah
75th
Engel.
career game as a Hawkeye today. Started 19 games last year, started 71 now in her career. Otto on that far side, they try to switch the play, didn't get quite enough on it. Pops up into the air. Beckett, or rather Gomez, launched that one forward for the Broncos. Schuler will go back to Greer. Trying to find Parton.
Win there.
Hawkeyes keep it. And Lainey Peterson
Great coverage.
tracking back to help out her center back partner. Still a threat, though, for Iowa. In the box, Otto looking to turn. Now Parton will let it fly. Tried to bend one to that far corner and just could not quite keep it on the target. But another chance for Iowa. Good job by the Broncos, as you said, Peterson
Checking
covering
into the game
for her center
Iowa,
back partners there.
number 8, Kenzie Rowling.
Iowa's great to watch going forward. They get lots of numbers in the box. They have some nice combination play, and they've got great ideas. They're Barrett Parton there
And checking into the
having a
game,
layoff,
number
and she's
9,
looking to
Jen Blitchuk.
bend it first time into that far right corner. It's lots of great creativity and action in that front line for the Hawkeyes.
Jen Blitchok back onto the field for Western Michigan. Go under 11 minutes to play here in Kalamazoo. Still even. Third minute goal for Iowa, 30th minute goal for the Broncos. Been that way since that 30-minute mark. Iowa with a throw right in front of their bench. continuing to press for that game-winning goal. Parton looking to get a cross in. She has Rolling to aim for, and Rolling with the header just wide. And a fantastic opportunity there for the Hawkeyes. Kenzie Rolling was looking for the first goal of her senior campaign. At that near post, got to it. And Wilberding would not have had a whole lot of chance to get to that one had it been on the target. Another break for the Broncos.
That's a tough header because it's curling away from goal, and she's got to really redirect it. She did really well. She got very close to being in that top corner, but again, great attack by Iowa.
Back, did a good job tracking back for the Broncos, but had her pass intercepted. Western Michigan does get possession back, though. Peterson trying to send it forward. A little bit too far for Blitchok. So popped up into the air. Again, lands at the feet of Peterson. Another long ball forward, which the Hawkeyes are able to send right back.
Miscommunication there.
Baldridge tracking back, didn't get all she wanted on it and got a little bit of backspin on it.
Well, she just passed it to herself.
And that'll end up going out last touch by Iowa. Good job recognizing her mistake, Abby Baldridge, and making up for it.
Broncos, number 12, Madison Salzenstein.
And now that'll be her last action for the time being. Salzenstein back in for Baldridge. That was the sub that shored things up a little bit for Western Michigan in the first half, and we'll see if it works to that same effect here in half number 2. Hansen back in for Iowa, replacing Otto, who had that opportunity a little while ago. That went off the crossbar. Western Michigan throw to resume play with just a shade over 9 minutes remaining. Remember, no overtime anymore in regulation in college soccer. Only in postseason play will we get to extra time and potentially penalties. So we'll be done after 90 today, whether someone bangs a winner in the next 9 minutes or not. All the way back to Anna King, who's been less involved in the second half. Not as many free kicks in her range around the center line.
Well played there by Thomasma.
Finds Mullen. Trying to continue the play down the left-hand side with Jaden Peck. Now cutting inside. Goes down.
Wow.
No foul. Much to the dismay of the Bronco fans.
Oh boy, this could be
Parton
controversial.
get onto this, and Wilberding comes out. Parton got to it first. It's going to keep it in down in front of that corner flag. Parton again charging in towards the box. Goes around Peterson. And that cross was blocked. Comes out to Rolling. That one was blocked. Rolling will have a go. Trying to go near post, and I don't think Wilberding saw it at first. He's down late to dive and keep it out.
I think the ref is going to be pretty grateful there. He probably wouldn't have heard the end of it from Coach Robinson if Iowa had managed to score that. Seemed to be a foul in the middle of the pitch. Referee decided to let it play on, and then they got in. So Coach Robinson, I don't think would have been very happy with that.
Peterson is a little shaken up for Western Michigan here. So the referee has stopped the clock with 7:47 to go. Stretching out that right leg. See if we get training staff maybe out there for the Broncos. And they are waving for it. Here comes Bronco trainer. Both teams will take this opportunity to head to their respective sidelines and grab a little bit of water for this final stretch run here. And Brendan, that gives us an opportunity to just kind of take a look at what we've seen so far in the second half. Hawkeyes really seem like they've kind of turned things up a few notches here, especially in the last maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, Iowa has really grabbed the game by the neck here. You know, all the attacking players have looked dangerous. I think it's really showcased the depth of Iowa. I mean, Micah Ingles, Barrett Parton, Maya Hansen, Sophia Bush, Kenzie Rolling didn't play many minutes in the first half, but in the second half boy, has she looked dangerous. I mean, Iowa just have such great depth of attackers, and I think Western at this point are just surviving. And I mean, the center backs in the back line and Wilberding are doing a great job at just surviving, but you can only do that for so long. So be interesting to see what happens in this last 7 minutes here. I think when Western get in possession of the ball, they just need to try to calm down, get their foot on it, connect some passes, maybe don't rush, but just try to catch their breath with some possession, you know, maybe settle the game down.
As we resume play here, Kayla Newcomb comes back in for the Broncos at right back to replace Peterson. So that's true freshman for true freshman for Coach Robinson and the Broncos. Wilberding sends it forward. Hawkeyes will intercept in the midfield. Good move there by Johnson. A nice deft touch to go around the Bronco defender in front of her. Parton on this left wing
This will be a good
side,
battle here.
looking to go around Brielle Gomez, or at least create a space for a cross. She gets across in toward the back post. Hanson trying to settle and just never quite got the space for a shot. Now Johnson will let fly, but that one's over. Broncos doing a good job of keeping Hanson from getting a shooting lead. We touched on her prolific scoring career at South Dakota State. She's definitely a player that you don't want to give too much space in the box.
For sure, yeah. Broncos did a good job trying to get pressure on her, making her take a shot on her weak foot. That's all you can do sometimes. You can't always get a block, but sometimes you just want to force them onto their weaker side to make them take a bad shot. So Broncos were able to do that time, but as we keep saying, the Hawkeyes just keep on coming.
Newcomb trying to find Blackburn down this near side. They'll go out of play. Iowa will have the throw. Rolling will restart the action with a throw in here. Parton pops it up in the air in the direction of Sophia Bush. Will Bush be able to keep it in play? No, she did not. It went out according to the assistant on the far side. 6.5 to go here in Kalamazoo. 1-1. This non-conference tilt between a couple of coaches that know each other very well from their prior jobs on the west side of this state. Parton.
Wow.
Looking to get across in, and it finds the green gloves of Ava Wilberding. Gratefully collects. Hawkeyes had a couple in the box, potentially waiting to get on the end of that one. Both players go down there in the center circle we play on, as we have the officiating has led a lot of things that I think both fans would have wanted called go, but he's been consistent in letting a lot of the physical play stand up.
Yeah. It's at least he's consistent both ways, you know, certainly a positive.
Iowa maintains possession in the attacking third. Ball comes in towards Parton, kind of
Oh, this is
bounces off a
danger.
couple defenders.
Danger.
Parton on the end of it
Wow.
and just can't keep it down, and she slams the turf in frustration. And you can see why a goal scorer of her caliber would expect to be putting that one away.
I mean, it looked like there was a deflection there. It looked like maybe Wilberding made a save. Just looking at this replay here, I think she's got a touch on it. It might be an outstanding save by Wilberding there. She's come out and closed down the angle really well. You know, she did a good job of not just staying on her line. She's rushed out, made it a tougher angle for Parton. I think that's a great save. I could be wrong.
Either way, another great chance for the Hawkeyes that the Broncos are able to escape without conceding a second goal. So it remains 1-1 as we enter the final 5 minutes of this second half. And that one ends up out of play. Worthman, the intended target there for Western Michigan. The second end of our doubleheader on ESPN Plus set for 5:30. A top 15 showdown on the men's side. Western Michigan number 12, Vermont number 14. A couple of teams that made the third round of the NCAA tournament last year. That's coming up at 5:30 here on ESPN Plus. We hope you join us for that one as well. We expect that one to be just as good as this one has been through 85 plus minutes.
It's been an excellent contest out here today, and a very interesting contrast of two teams who play similar styles and have similar strengths as well. Strong attackers and pretty stingy defenses.
Shots heavily in favor of the Hawkeyes, especially in the second half, is now 25-6.
Wow.
But Ava Wilberding has been up to the task. She's made 8 saves. Got help from one of the goalie's best friends, is always the post and the crossbar, and she got help from the crossbar earlier. She's had a couple of good blocks from her defenders as well that have helped keep her clean since the 3rd minute. And really, as for as many chances as Iowa has had, the only goal came on that slip up at the back post in that 3rd minute. And the Bronco defense, although they have let up some chances, has not conceded since that 3rd minute.
And I think that ratio of 25 shots and only 9 shots on goal for Iowa, I think really highlights some good defending. I mean, we've seen lots of blocks on display here by the Western Michigan back line. So I think second half defending has really been a highlight for the Broncos. And I think Coach Robinson will be happy with his back four in the second half.
Broncos on the front foot here. Jaden Peck coming down the left-hand side has a go at goal, and Enneking will smother it. One of the few times we've seen the Broncos have a decent counterattacking opportunity in the second half. They've really been stifled, and Iowa has had the lion's share of the second half possession and chances. But the Broncos still have Jen Blitchok charging forward. Blitchok is nudged off the ball by Johnston. Thomas Mo able to keep it forward for the Broncos. Dean will drop back to pick this one up.
Oh,
finds
she's in.
Worthman drives it across the face of goal. Nobody home.
I think it's fair to say the Western staff are not happy with this referee right now. There's been a couple of fouls that they've been pretty upset with. But Western still creating chances on the counter here, still looking dangerous.
These last couple of minutes is about as dangerous as they've looked here in the second half. Riley Fetty went down and tried to get the official's attention. She's got a little bit of a knock, and she'll be subbed out.
I think the referee's going to go have a word with the Western staff right now.
Abby Skiff replaces Fetty.
Iowa, number 34, Abby Skiff.
We had an Iowa assistant coach booked in the first half. It looks like a member of the Western Michigan staff will be booked here in the second half. And I think that's Nate Van Ryn who's been showed the card there.
You know, that's an interesting situation, though, here, Rob, because from my understanding of the rules, if a player has gone down injured, the referee is not supposed to blow the whistle to end it unless the opposing team kicks it out of bounds.
Or a head injury.
Or a head injury, right? But she was just taking a knee there. It didn't look like it was a head injury. It's supposed to be more of a courtesy thing that you kick the ball out. Western did not do that. They were playing on, so I'm a little bit confused about why the referee stopped the play there. So I kind of understand the frustration with the referee there.
Here's Barrett Parton charging down that right side. Hanson in the middle. A couple other Hawkeyes
Great tackle.
Are in pursuit as well, and that's going to lead to, I believe it's a throw-in, or is it a corner? It was right around that corner flag. They're going to put it down as a corner kick. The way the assistant on that side signaled, I thought he was signaling for a throw-in.
This is it here. This is the game. Minute 30. This is where Iowa's really going to push for it. They've been in control the whole second half. They have no reason not to go for it. I think Western are just going to try to settle in and hold on tight.
It'll be Parton to take it with their right foot. Iowa with several players in and around the Bronco penalty box as it's toward the 6. Good defensive header there. It comes out to rolling, and there was a whistle in the box for a foul in the box there against Iowa. So Western Michigan off the hook there. Corners now 6-4 Iowa. And now with less than a minute to go, I don't think Western Michigan is going to be in too much of a hurry to take this one. I think they're going to be satisfied to hold the Hawkeyes to a draw here with the way, especially the chances have gone in the second half. But Iowa may not be done yet. Bush gets it out wide, rolling. 25 seconds to go. Rolling, charging down the right-hand side.
Oh, boy.
Salzenstein
Oh,
whistled
dear.
for the foul. And it's going to be booked here. That's going to stop the clock with 15 seconds for the official to put Madison Salzenstein in his book. This one's going to be not too far outside of the box. Parton will set it down, and this is going to be the last chance, you would think, with just 15 seconds to go. Looks like there's gonna be
Nail-biting finish here.
two, well, maybe just two in the wall here for the Broncos. I'm sure the wall is going to be asked to back up, as they are certainly closer than 10 yards. And the official will march it off here.
Be really interested to see what Barrett Parton tries to do here. I mean, she's been dangerous all game. I'm sure her confidence is high. She might be tempted to have a hit at this. But at this angle, it's probably more common to put a cross into the box. So I'm interested to see what she's going to do here.
Ingles is over there as well, and she will leave it for Parton. It got deflected, and the referee stopped it for something. I'm not sure. He didn't really signal anything, so I'm wondering if maybe the Broncos, maybe the wall moved too early and showed a yellow card to somebody.
Looks like the card was for Barrett Parton. Might have had some frustration with the referee there.
Another player into the book. We'll try to sort that out here in a minute. First, we got Parton trying to line up a free kick. Looks like it might be just a little bit, maybe a yard or two more central than it was before, but about the same distance out. See what Iowa has lined up for the second time. Resetting the clock to 15 seconds here. That's the reason for the delay. There we go. Ingles again lets Parton take it. Again blocked by the Western Michigan wall.
Wall did his
Broncos
job.
will charge to get it out. They'll just launch it down to the Iowa half. Anna King will maybe have one more roll of the dice to send it forward. And that will do it here from Kalamazoo. What a match here between Western Michigan and Iowa. The final score is going to be 1-1, but Brendan, the Broncos, they were really under siege for a lot of the second half, but they were able to hold on to get a nice draw against a ranked opponent here on their home field.
Yeah, I think they'll be perfectly happy with a tie after that second half. I mean, they can look back at this game, take a look at the second half and where they could have done a little bit better to try to maybe get control of that